You probably see yourself as confident, decisive, and sure of your beliefs. But what if that confidence is actually a mask? What if it's a sign of a rigid mindset, one that's quietly sabotaging your growth, your relationships, and your potential? Stay with me, because today we're uncovering 7 subtle psychological signs that you might be a rigid thinker. And more importantly, how to break free and build real mental strength. Psychologists call this cognitive rigidity. Imagine a closed door inside your mind. Cognitive rigidity is the inability to open that door, the struggle to switch perspectives, adapt your thinking, or accept new information, even when the old way is clearly not working. The opposite is cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt, hold multiple viewpoints, and update your beliefs when reality changes. This isn't a nice-to-have skill. It's a core pillar of intelligence, emotional maturity, and good decision-making. A rigid mind gets stuck. A flexible mind grows. So let's see, is your mind more stuck than you realize? First, you see the world in black and white. Rigid thinkers often see life in extremes. Things are either good or bad, success or failure, right or wrong. There's no middle ground, no nuance. For example, you start a fitness routine, you stay consistent all week, then one day you miss a workout and eat cake. The rigid thought appears instantly. I ruined everything, I failed. One mistake erases all progress. This mindset is exhausting because it creates impossible standards and traps you in a cycle of starting, quitting, and starting again. Reframe it like this. Instead of 0 or 100, rate your effort realistically. 70% effort is not failure, it's progress. Train your brain to live in the gray. Second, you take disagreement personally. For a rigid thinker, feedback feels like a threat. A challenge to your idea feels like a challenge to your identity. Your body reacts first. A tight chest, defensiveness, emotional heat. You stop listening. In meetings, constructive feedback sounds like, "You're bad at this." That defensiveness blocks learning and poisons collaboration. Try this instead. When you feel triggered, pause. Take one slow breath. Then ask yourself, what if this isn't an attack? What if there's one useful piece here? That single question turns threat into growth. Third, you feel overwhelmed when plans change. Rigid thinkers struggle with unpredictability. You plan your day carefully, then something changes, and instead of flexibility, you feel anxiety, irritation, or loss of control. Spontaneity feels like chaos. This isn't about liking routines, it's emotional dependence on control, and the cost is high. You miss joy, novelty, connection. Train flexibility deliberately. Take a different route home, order something unfamiliar, break a tiny routine on purpose. Small uncertainty teaches your nervous system that change is not danger. Fourth, you believe there's only one right way. Rigid thinkers confuse confidence with correctness. You believe your method is the best one. Other approaches feel inefficient or wrong. In group settings, you listen only to reply, not to understand. This shuts down creativity and makes collaboration impossible. Power exercise. Take a recent disagreement. Write the situation entirely from the other person's perspective. Not to agree, but to prove that multiple valid realities exist. Flexibility begins with perspective. Fifth, you overgeneralize from one negative event. One mistake becomes, "I always fail." One rejection becomes, "This will never work." One bad moment turns into a permanent identity that isn't based on evidence, only emotion. Break the pattern. Ask yourself, what evidence supports this? What evidence contradicts it? Your brain learns balance when you force it to look for facts. Sixth, You avoid new experiences. Rigid thinking prefers the familiar. Same food, same shows, same opinions, same people. New experiences feel risky because they introduce uncertainty. But avoiding novelty starves the brain of growth. Mental flexibility exercise. Pick a random object. List 10 unusual uses for it. This trains your brain to explore possibilities instead of default patterns. Seventh, you get stuck in mental loops. Rigid minds ruminate. You replay conversations, revisit mistakes, rehearse worries endlessly. This looping fuels anxiety without solving anything. You're not thinking, you're stuck. The antidote is mindfulness. Not to stop thoughts, but to observe them. 10 minutes a day teaches your brain that thoughts are events, not commands. Let's recap. Rigid thinking shows up when you see life in extremes. You take disagreement personally. You fear change. You believe there's only one right way. You overgeneralize failures. You avoid novelty. You get trapped in mental loops. If you saw yourself here, that's not a flaw. It's a learned pattern, and patterns can be changed. Cognitive flexibility is a skill, and every time you pause, reframe, explore, or reflect, you are literally rewiring your brain. If one of these signs hit close to home, comment which one you noticed in yourself. Awareness is the first step to change. And if you want to go deeper into human behavior, watch these next on PsyShade. Why some people don't celebrate their birthday. Why some people don't post their photos on social media. This is PsyShade. We don't judge the mind, we decode it. See you in the next one.